And we played Tottenham, we beat them 2-0, and sat together, and come back, and he said to me, you should go out every Thursday if you can play that. I'm telling you, if you can play that well, you could go out every single Thursday, go sat together. And do you know what? On my truth, I held him to that.
Yeah.
Did you every Thursday you do it?
Every Thursday till I was 35.
Wow, Des.
You went out drinking?
Yeah, every Thursday.
You were playing against us by then.
I played against everybody. Yeah. I've been playing long before that, every Thursday.
So did you get
and if I played on a Sunday, I went out on a Friday. So it was 2 days before. If I played on a Monday, I went out on a Saturday.
And how hard would you go, though? Would you get steaming like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
But when you were going out on a Thursday, you were getting in Friday morning, really, weren't
morning,
you?
yeah, Friday morning, yeah.
And then playing Saturday.
It's only warm-up five-a-side, though, isn't it?
Yes, on a
Des, would
Only warm-up five-a-side, don't it?
would Brian Clough know that you were doing that?
Yeah.
And said anything to you?
Yeah.
Or?
We'll get back to Keane in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. Big D reads all of the comments and he is always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this clip, Des Walker tells an interesting story about what he was like with a young Roy Keane, and also a very unique match preparation before the match at the weekend that I don't think many footballers would get away with in today's game. But stick around for after the clip, because the Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on the differences between the game back then and the game right now. Anyway, here's Des.
Yeah, but he was brilliant at it, do you know what I mean? He was brilliant at it. And he scored 12 goals a season, wasn't he? 12, 13 goals a season.
Yeah.
What was your first experience of Des when you got to Forest, Roy? You smirking now, wasn't it?
No, obviously I knew Des obviously watching on the television.
Lifting the car, probably.
And Nigel. No, I just had in my head, obviously, again, all it happened very fast for me to get involved in the first team. And I would obviously see him playing for England and thought, I just couldn't believe my luck, really, what I was joining the dressing room. And the lads didn't know me till I'd really played in the first team, because I've said the story before. I was obviously training with the underage teams. Yeah, do you know what? It's great talking about the old days and the players you're mentioning there. But obviously then I was young, 19, then I started going out a little bit, Des, and I'd see Des out and about. And
Would you go out, Des?
No comment.
I love going out, if I'll be truthful. It was that break from football. So I'd go out and have a drink, have a party, ready for Saturday.
So when I used to go out...
When was that?
1990, 91, yeah, when I...
He was thinking more Friday.
I'm thinking Wednesday or Thursday, not the year.
Sorry.
What day?
I'll tell you, let him finish his story, then I'll jump in.
No, like, if you had no midweek game, you might go during the week, or sometimes a lot on a Saturday night. But this is obviously, as a young player, when you get into the first team, you're looking at Piercy, and now Des is a little bit younger. So I'd start going out and about, and I'd see Des out, and obviously I'd be drawn towards what a footballer was, and Des would be out. So part of me, I love what Piercy stood for. I was
Sounds like I'm getting a blame here.
No. But when Des was out partying and enjoying himself, I was like, "Boy, this is..."
That's what it is.
I want some of that as well.
This is the life.
This is the life. I couldn't believe my luck. Des then had the cars, he had all the toys, and I was like, "Oh yeah, but I like what Piercy had as well. Piercy, I love what Piercy..." But I wanted a bit of Des and a bit of Piercy.
Right.
What they stood for, and obviously training and playing with them, the best.
Yeah.
The best days. But I was only young and quiet, so I wouldn't... Not that I was going up meeting Des and socialising with him. I just might see him and go, "Do you want a drink?" But I wouldn't be in his company.
How was that, Des?
No, there was a young, and when there was Woney and
course,
you know what I mean? There was a young,
Rocco, Charles,
so we bumped into each other. Out of my story, I never used to drink that much as a youngster, very rarely. And then I went to Australia, and we went on 3 weeks. Can you imagine a modern day player at the end of the season with 3 weeks? I saw we played Man United, Juventus, Australia twice. I went to Australia 3 weeks, and by the time I come back from there, I'd learned to drink.
Blaming Australia.
No, the first team.
Who was
I'd
you
learned to
drinking
drink.
with? Like, who was with you?
What happened was, they give you the kitty to buy the drinks.
Oh,
so I was a Joey kind of thing, because I was the youngest player on the tour. And then, like, Gary Burt's, have a drink. So you get steaming one day. And, you know what I mean? So in between buying, you just buy it, because I'm not paying for it. I'm just paying it out of their money, you know? And I came back, and obviously I didn't really drink that much, but I went at John Robertson and Martin O'Neill was at the non-league club down south. What was it there? Croydon. what was that? What club they started at? You started
Not
at?
Wickham. No,
Wickham.
Oh, yeah, right.
Wickham.
But they were at some of them before Wickham. but yeah.
And they asked me if I'd go down and open the lights. This was a Thursday, so I went out and opened the lights. Turn the lights on. And it's like you stood there, it's in the afternoon, I've had a few drinks, and this and that. I came back, and one of the boys come back was Keith out of Jellens, the guy who used to own Jellens in town. So I come back, he said, come in here for a couple of drinks. And I went in there, and I came back. I ended up leaving there about 4:30 in the morning, steaming. And we played Tottenham on a Saturday. I remember Tottenham released me as a kid, so we went to Tottenham. So I've gone down to Tottenham. And Keith asked for some tickets, so he got on with things, I get some tickets. And we played Tottenham, we beat them 2-0, and sat together. And come back, and he said to me, you should go out every Thursday if you can play that. I'm telling you, if you can play that well, you can go out every single Thursday, you go this, that, and the other. And do you know what? On my truth, I held him to that.
Yeah.
Did you tell every Thursday you do it?
Every Thursday till I was 35.
Wow, Des.
You went out
So,
Yeah, every Thursday.
You were playing against us by then.
I play against everybody. Yeah. I'll be playing long before that, every Thursday.
did you get
And if I played on a Sunday, I went out on Friday. So it was 2 days before. If I played on a Monday, I went out on Saturday.
And how hard would you go, though? Would you get steaming like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
but when you were going out on a Thursday, you were getting in Friday morning, really, weren't
morning,
you?
yeah, Friday morning, yeah.
And then playing Saturday.
It's only warm-up five-a-side, though, isn't it?
Yes, on a
Des, would
Only warm-up five-a-side, don't it?
would Brian Clough know that you were doing that?
Yeah.
And said anything to you?
Yeah.
Or would he
No,
say...
it didn't matter what you do. It only mattered what you did on a Saturday afternoon.
He gave me the impression that he wanted a player to have a vice.
Listen, you could drink on a Friday. Webby had a bottle of wine on a Friday. 2 bottles of wine on a Friday. It's like, Webby, don't keep going to the bar. Get a bottle and put it down the side of you.
Wow.
Yeah, because people will talk, wouldn't they? So he didn't care what you did. He cared what you did on a Saturday afternoon. And make no mistake about it, there was no excuses.
But did you feel hungover on a Friday?
No, on a Friday. Yeah. You try and drink, yeah. But it didn't matter on a Friday.
But on a Saturday, you were okay?
Saturday, I was brilliant. I felt better. A few times, no. A few times I didn't. A few times I didn't, right? And I didn't feel good. Now, you might say that's psychological, but whichever way, I only want to play well.
Wow.
That's it. There is no, it was my way. That was what I felt comfortable doing. And I wouldn't sleep, obviously I hadn't slept 3 years tired. So Friday night, I would never, you couldn't get me to touch a drop of drink on a Friday. I'd have a big Jamaican meal.
What a pro.
Big Jamaican meal.
I was just thinking.
On a Saturday morning,
Science there, sports science.
Saturday morning, I'd have a nourishment.
Yes, a nourishment.
That's
What's
it.
that? Drink.
It's a
It's
protein drink. And that's it, and go and play Saturday. And I felt unbelievable.
Ready to go.
That's like your Huel.
So you have to. I always think you're the professional. So what it is, you've got to go and deliver on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to put yourself in whatever position you can to do. Now, I'm not saying that is the only way. I felt great doing it. And I got to 35 and I thought, you know what, Des? Don't keep kidding yourself and done it because you've always done it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So stop. Give it 6 months, not 2 weeks, because you're going to think, oh, mentally, yeah, that's what I've always done. And I got to be truthful, I didn't feel no better in any form or shape, but I didn't have a drink again on a Thursday.
You know, back in the day when Des Walker was playing, I mean, it was almost a mythological time because think about the players who were knocking around back then. First of all, let's think of the great players who are playing today, right? You've got Mbappe, you've got Lamar, you've got Salah, you've got Bruno Fernandes, you've got Erling Haaland, you've got Harry Kane, you've got Rafinha, and you've got Robert Lewandowski here. There's just some names that I've just picked up off the top of my head, probably all the best players in the world right now. But go back to sort of the 80s and 90s and the players that were knocking around then. So you had Ruud Gullit, you had Marco van Basten, you had Frank Rijkaard, you had Des Walker, you had Gary Lineker, you had Diego Maradona, you had Michel Platini, you had Paolo Rossi, who was still knocking around in the 80s. You had Glenn Hoddle, you had Brian Robson, you had Paul Gascoigne, you had Roberto Baggio, Roberto Mancini, Gianluca Vialli, R.I.P. I mean, there's just so many mythical players. Romario, Zico, Bebeto, all these absolutely phenomenal players, right? And the stories that you hear about these players back then, like Paul Gascoigne, he's a well-known alcoholic. Diego Maradona is a well-known cocaine addict, or was, RIP. There was a massive drinking culture as well. Brian Robson used to famously go out, get absolutely leathered, get carried back home, wake up the next day, be the best player at Man United training, and then at the weekend, he'd get man of the match, and then he'd just go out on an all-day bender. It's just mental. And even looking back now, I don't know if this is an age thing or not. Clearly, the players today are much better athletes. They're a lot more professional, obviously. But still, there's just a little bit of romance that just doesn't exist in the game now than what it did back then. I'm not entirely sure what it was. I think it might have been something to do with footballers back then were a lot more accessible, a lot more relatable. They were normal people normal working class people who just so happened to be gifted in one specific realm. And football back then, it was more accessible to the working class player. You're more likely to see a player in your local pub. They were much more relatable. They came from the same kind of upbringing that the average working class fan had. They probably still lived a working class lifestyle as well. So it was just a little bit more, I don't know. Well, as I say, relatable. Whereas footballers these days, they're scouted when they're like 9. They're put into the system when they're about 10. And then all of a sudden they're on a conveyor belt and they're getting 10 grand a week by the time they're 17. And then, they don't even have to make it and they're still multi-millionaires. They don't even have to sort of achieve their full potential and they've made more money than Diego Maradona did back in the day. And then if they do make it, then they've made hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds, whatever. So it's just, I don't know, they're just so far away, so far removed from real life that you couldn't get away with going out on a Thursday night, getting absolutely leathered, having a kickabout on a Friday, and then having a game on a Saturday. You would have to be super gifted to be able to get away with that in today's game. A bit like, say, Neymar. I would say Neymar probably did that or did something similar to that. Marcus Rashford's tried to do it and he's shown that he can't do that. So it's just, I don't know, it's just football is just so far removed. I don't want to start moaning or anything like that. I just find it quite interesting, how the culture around football before it was corporatized, what it used to be like, and the differences between what it used to be like and what it is now. And I think it's just the same with most things, really. When something is just organically growing, it's got like a romance about it, a uniqueness. And then eventually, once the money people get into it, it becomes commodified. And then it becomes this corporatized entity that people just can't really relate to. And it just kind of loses its soul. But anyway, that's the Big D's thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you agree with the Big D? Is football too corporatized now? And do you long for the days of when football was more relatable? Thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.